Everybody, what's going on? Coming at you with a change in pace here. Today's Friday, so I took the day off from working on that septic and am coming to finish up this job. This is the first one you guys saw on my channel, or I should say recently. It's the start of New Beginnings job. We did that in the winter, and we were here cleaning it up in the spring. And yeah, this is a mess. It's over near the septic tank, settled a ton. Yeah, where the old tank was settled. I mean, I've seen stuff settle in the winter before, but this is pretty bad. So definitely got our work cut out for us. We got topsoil coming at 12. It's 10 right now, so we got a few hours to cut this in, get it rough graded. At least if I get where my machine's sitting pretty much where I want it, I can dump the topsoil there and then work on it. But the good thing is it's not that big of a yard, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. But definitely definitely don't have a ton of time to set up and film and stuff like that, so I'm just gonna set up on the tripod and just kind of get shots that way. Yeah, so stay tuned. Alright, so I got everything rough graded. It actually came out a lot better than I thought it would. Got the power rake on, getting ready to rake it all now. That's pretty much what we got. Grades are a little odd, but we had to fill it in specifically back there to create a berm to hold the leach field in because of the way the soils were. So kind of what it is with the grades. We got a little bit of our 40 mil popping up here, and I just figured don't want to get too much below that. So that was kind of what I was going off of. You can see it over here popping up too, so don't want to cut it too much where we're cutting into the leach field and, you know, hitting pipes and that kind of thing. That's no good. So it is what it is at this point, you know, burn up what we got for fill and that's it. So yeah, start raking this. We got topsoil coming in the next half hour, and then hopefully spread that and get it done today. If not, we'll wrap it up tomorrow. But yeah, nice and quick. Alright, it's the next day here on this job. I had to leave a little bit early yesterday for an appointment, so didn't quite finish this up, but got everything topsoiled, power raked, graded for the most part, except for over there where I'm kind of working my way out, but we'll get that. But yeah, didn't come out too bad. I'm gonna put down the seed now, then some straw, and that'll be done. Alright, we just started strawing, wearing a dust mask, as you can see, because it is the middle of April and allergy season is in full swing, and today is just one of those days where I can't stop sneezing. So all this hay or straw definitely won't help, so I figured to try putting on a dust mask. I normally don't, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get some relief, so say what you want, I don't care. Got this one all wrapped up, straw seeded and fertilized. Yeah, and we're on to the next. Got these slopes locked in so they don't wash out. Big transition from what was here yesterday. Didn't really get too crazy on this slope right here with the rocks because they're just going to turn this into woods, but I wanted to stabilize it that way it doesn't wash out, so we put straw heavy down there, and same thing over here with these slopes. Where it's all sunken right there. Alright, blow it up and get out of here. On to the next one. Just want to show you guys something as I'm pulling out of here. Look at that view. real nice. All right, we're back from the weekend, back from doing that job that you guys saw last. At least I think I'll put it in that order, but if you guys did see that, we're back from that, got that finished up a job from last year, and we're back on the septic. The machine's warming up. So yeah, back. Hopefully everyone had a good Easter. Yesterday was Easter, so happy Easter. Yeah, not much going on here. Hopefully get pretty much the rest of this pipe laid today, I'm hoping. See how it goes. I mean, before I left, I had this already all prepped to elevation, so that'll help. I was doing 4 in a row at a time, but I think I'm probably gonna have to do 2, 2, and then my last 2 and 2, just because it's getting a little tight in here. But the thing about the sprinkler in my stone with the machine, I'll have to bring up the skid steer and probably put it right there and then sprinkle it in, just because how tight it's getting, which is fine. Probably we'll just do mostly time lapse today. It's more or less the same thing of what you guys already previously saw, so probably some time lapse stuff, probably some check-ins here and there, but other than that, that's what we got going on. Got the tank getting pumped for later Wednesday, so I would like to get this field done, D-box in by tomorrow, and that way I can start working on running the tank to the leach field, because obviously we don't want to get it pumped and then filled up again, so we're on a little bit of a time crunch there. Otherwise I'm pushed out till next week, so got to keep going here, and yeah, we'll see you guys in a bit.
Touch, let me show you devotion. Let me light you up. I just wanna show you the dance of my love. Let me enter
It's the end of the day here. Got the last 2 lines in. Stoned all the way. And actually ended up having to order some more stone because I thought I might need some, but I thought there possibly I might not need some. Ran the risk, and I ended up being a little bit short. 7 yards. I had to pay actually more than... Wow, that dog keeps going, huh? Actually, I had to pay more than what I normally would because it was from a different gravel bank, someone closer that could get to me sooner. Otherwise, I had to wait till tomorrow afternoon, which wouldn't fly with me. So I ended up getting the stone. Whatever, ate the extra cost, but it's in. All the lines are in. So tomorrow we'll start putting the D-box in. It's gonna go somewhere right here. Gotta cut that down a little bit better. Rake some things up. You know, some little things gotta do. Rake that up a little bit. Get a little bit extra stone here. We can rake around once we get the D-box set. But observation port's in. Wow, that thing keeps going on. I tried the time lapse for you guys. I know I got some time lapse, but I don't think I got the whole thing. I was trying to do it from start to finish. But when I went to turn off the camera, it had died out of battery, so I don't know how far it went, but I'll include whatever it is, or maybe I already did include whatever it is. So whatever you guys saw previously or about to see, I don't know how I'll do it, but is what I ended up getting. So yeah, I mean, it's straightforward. It's kind of this, more or less the same anyways. And then like I say, tomorrow I'll get the D-box set and then start running our line, our connection way up there, up that hill. That should be fun. I've done some jobs on some slopes before, but nothing quite this drastic, so that'll be fun. But I'm not worried about it. We'll get it done one way or another. Good thing is there's no way possibly we could pitch it backwards, so that's the bright side, I guess, right? But yeah, it's the end of the day here, cleaning up, headed home, and we'll pick up tomorrow. Adios.